Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Love County Coaches Show. This thing put on by the Marietta Monitor. My name is Bryson Colwell. Glad to be here with you. First and foremost, thank you to our sponsors, American Nation Bank, Arbuckle Title and Abstract. Your Oklahoma Farm Bureau agent is Sam Barrick. The Marietta Monitor, once again, quality printing and design, as well as the 20 MSP. And a big game in Love County tomorrow. Truthfully, one of the only ones left in southern Oklahoma, other than Kingston, is the closest one. The Thackerville Wildcats tomorrow night will face the Waynoka Railroaders. I said it right.
You
I
did.
said it
You
right.
did.
There we go.
You did well.
Mark Barrett, the head coach of the Wildcats, is with me. And, Coach, how are you doing, man? It's good to be playing football the week before Thanksgiving.
Oh, it is. It's. I told the boys. I said this is a great two to 3 week period here that they'll never forget in their life, and it's good to be playing this time of the year.
A single elimination tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that all too well with this team. The same round as last year. Same game, kind of. This time they have to turn around and make the 5-hour drives. You guys don't. Waynoka knocked you out in the second round last year. So this is kind of just a flip scenario here.
Right.
They're a little younger this year. How are you guys feeling? How was practice this week?
Practice has been real good this week. The guys kind of know the scenario. It like you said, it is a single elimination tournament. And this is the team that knocked us out last year, and we did make that 5-6 hour drive up there, and that's a long way to go to play in one day, and it takes a lot out of you. And but they had a lot of seniors last year, and they were pretty good, and they graduated 6 or 7 seniors, so they're a relatively young team, but they're a talented team. Yeah. And they started the season off with a couple of losses early, kind of like we did, and then got on that roll in district play. So. We expect a good ball game tomorrow night out of them.
They like to keep the ball on the ground. So I would imagine getting the ball back in your hands and clock management, kind of the two keys tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're a run-oriented team. They've got 3 or 4 big linemen that they like to pull and, run some GT schemes and kick our defensive ends out and get the backs up in the hole. And, but we've think we've kind of got them figured out. What I was impressed about this week is a couple of our kids are really film study, is really intense, and they're picking up on little tendencies that just by a stance that the puller has or the way somebody's lined up, they know exactly what they're going to do. So we've kind of implemented that into our defense.
I think one of the toughest things about leading a program, I've never led one, but from the outside looking in, would have to be sometimes helping them realize how big this is, especially after, a couple of generations of not having this type of success. Are they kind of beginning to realize how big this is and how much this means?
Yes, they are. They, a lot of times this time of the year, you got footballers who are ready to go to the gym. Yeah. But these guys aren't. They're like, hey, we don't want it to end. So they know how important it is. They've bought into this. And I've been around, like I said, for 400 years. I've been in those big game situations, and that's what I want them to experience, And, the coaching staff, they've been in those big games, and that's what we're trying to get over to the kids is, this is a big deal, and they're finally buying into it and realize how big of a deal it is.
So we talked about your defense. Let's talk about the offense. They were on fire the other night. I can't remember exactly what the final score was. I'm sure you remember right off the top of your head.
52-6.
Exactly. And you were able to get the 45 points that enacts a mercy rule in 8-man football. Right. So that's got to be nice that you were able to save some guys like that. No complaints out of offense right now. So what's the key going to be there tomorrow night?
Well, the key, we got 2 keys. One is to keep doing what we're doing offensively. Yeah. We would like to get out to that 3 or 4 touchdown lead like we've been doing most of the year and maintaining that, and, an 8-man ball, you're going to give up a touchdown here, a touchdown there, which we only gave up 1 last week, but as long, like I said, all year long, our guys are so confident that if we give up a score, they just know we can go get another one to replace it. So, sure. And then defensively, we're going to have to, wrap up and tackle. We're going to have to play gap control defense and make the tackles when we need to.
Hey, so on this show, we're going to have Austin Tyree. He was a big key in the game last week. He had a couple of big runs. Coach Terry White is also going to be joining us, and we'll talk to him kind of about the other end of this bracket. No cakewalk. I mean, when you look at the other side, Tipton and. Go look at my transcript if you don't believe me. I'm not necessarily a geography expert, but everyone can probably agree with me that the road to Bethany is going to go through Tillman County, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it is.
And
at this point, they're all, every team is pretty good.
Yeah.
When you get down to the final 8, final 4,
Yeah.
You're there for a reason.
Yeah. So we'll definitely talk about that here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Love County Coaches Show. Hey, back here with you on the Love County Coaches Show, live from Thackerville Gymnasium. That's the name of this place, right? There's no
Thackerville
other
Gymnasium.
All right,
Pretty simple.
There we go. Hey, tomorrow night they've got the Waynoka Railroaders. I'm saying that right still, right? Okay, good deal. I'm gonna have to say it a bunch tomorrow night, so I'm practicing, guys, and hopefully not a lot though. Hopefully just during intros and outros. You know what I mean? So,
poor railroaders.
Poor railroader. Turn out the lights. So yeah. Hey, we've got Austin Tyree with us with a headset on. How you doing, bud?
Doing good.
Good. Hey, so this junior last week, you had a pretty good performance, man. Coach, let's talk about it just a little bit. Let's talk about his numbers from last week, just off the top of your head. I mean,
right off the top of head, it was about, we only played a little over a half, so I think it was like 10 or 12 carries for almost 100 yards, and I think he just had one touchdown rushing this week.
Yeah.
But normally it's 3 or 4 a game.
Hey, so talk to me, Austin, about getting to play this late. I mean, this is the first time you've ever gotten to play this late in the year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so what's this mean right now? Have home field advantage to know that tonight you're going to get to sleep in your own bed, and then tomorrow you're going to get to go through the same motions you go through every day, basically on a home game day. That's nice, right?
It is.
So, hey, talk to me about what's this going to mean this week to play the team that knocked you guys out?
Well, this is probably one of the most important games to play, and considering we host home field advantage,
Yeah,
it's going to feel nice to go home and sleep in our own bed and not have to drive 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you guys are kind of used to that, right? I mean, the long drives are nothing crazy in 8-man, but
Yeah.
it's almost like one more advantage.
Right. Yeah, it is. In 8-man ball, you're going to have to travel, 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes. And, 2 years ago, we went to Tyrone, which was basically a 2-day trip.
Yeah,
It was
because
what,
that's like
10 hours?
the Panhandle.
Yeah, about 10 hours. And last year was, 4 to 5 hours. So, yeah, it's going to be good to stay at home this week.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, if you guys could show everybody the shirts that you guys had made, I mean, that's awesome, right? I mean, great deal. I'm sure you can zoom in on that just a little bit, right? Are you guys going to have these at the game
Well,
tomorrow
I'm glad
night
I've
or
been in the
anything
weight
like
room
that? Are
all
you guys?
summer.
Yeah. So, according to the chief experience officer over here, we're going to have these tomorrow night at the game. Come by. How much are these things, Shane? $20 for a t-shirt, and so cool. I'm gonna have mine on tomorrow. It's somewhere over there. So hey, thank you, Austin, for joining us. When we come back, we'll have Coach Terry White. We're gonna talk about some other sides of the bracket. He's got some experience there, as well as these Thackerville Wildcats. Hey, back here with you on the Love County Coaches Show. Got the Waynoka Railroaders coming to town tomorrow, and Mark Barrett is with me, the head coach, and I just gave him a title. The scout team coordinator, I think is what I said. Coach Terry White is with us as well. And Coach, from your opinion, what have you seen on film this week? What are you expecting from the Railroaders this week?
Well, they're gonna see if they can run the ball down our throats, and we just gotta wrap up and tackle and swarm and do the things that we've been doing, and we're gonna be in good shape. But they're definitely a load. We're gonna have to be ready to go.
So you also said that you're the get back coach. So obviously you got to have a good relationship with this guy next to you to be able to look at him and say, "Hey, man, you got to get back a little bit."
I had to pull him back. I think it was at Graham, but I can't remember. There's been a couple of instances where he's down on the 20.
Look on Mr. Wolf's face over there says he remembers exactly what happened to Graham. But so that's funny. How long have you been here with the Wildcats?
This is my first year.
This is your first year,
yes,
okay.
And I've been really, really happy with, the way everybody's embraced me and allowed me to come in and work with them. Just made me feel like part of the family, and it's been really good step for me.
You mentioned you came from Texas. You're up here in Oklahoma now. This isn't something that they have down there, this 8-man thing. I know they've got similar, I believe it's 6-man.
They play 6-man,
yes. I know you had a lot of knowledge of 8-man. That was kind of what I wanted to go into is kind of in the family, not necessarily your thing, but you are related to the Whites in Tipton, head coach Travis White, and your brother is Teddy White, which I believe he's their defensive coordinator.
Yes.
So a little bit of knowledge of 8-man, but what's that transition been like?
Well, I honestly, I was the volleyball coach for 34 years, and football was a passion of mine, but I hadn't been coaching it since I left Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of my first taste to get back into football, and it's been a blast.
Absolutely.
Been a blast.
Hey, so talk to me about that other side of the bracket. I mean, obviously, the success that Tipton's had. Your side, not necessarily a cakewalk. Talk to me about the next coming weeks, what you think that these guys could face.
Well, my I've been in Texas for 23 years, and probably 20 of those years, my plan is always to come Thanksgiving and watch Tipton play, and so I've been able to keep up with the Tigers through Thanksgiving break, and so it's a blast. I mean, it's unbelievable, and Coach Barrett is right; he's spot on. It's something that that I hope we all get to experience next week because it is so much fun, and be able to eat turkey and play football that night.
I think that's the coolest thing probably for you guys when you advance next week, that Thursday, getting to have them up there before they go and eat with their families for a little practice, send them home to go eat, say, come back later. We got some more work to do, and kind of get to do it as a unit. I'm sure you guys are excited for the possibility.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Like I've told them, Thursday morning we'll come in through our, for our Thursday workout or walkthrough.
Yeah.
And, you got cars going up and down the road and the highway here, and they see a team still out there practicing. They know, you're pretty deep in the playoffs. So they start honking their horns and pulling over and waving and yelling. And the kids just feed off of that. It's a tremendous feeling.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach White, thanks so much for joining us. When we come back, I think I'm going to pull Connor Choate over here in this other chair. And just going to have to do that. Didn't tell him I was going to. So we'll be right back. Hey, back here with you on the Love County Coaches Show. And I mean, from one media guy to another, I know you've got an opinion, Connor. So I just kind of wanted to get you on here and get you talking, see what came out of your mouth. You know what I mean? And so it's good to have you on, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way. Each week I did. The real reason I wanted you on here is because they're in a single elimination tournament. It's kind of like we are too. We're not sure if we're going to have another one of these things, and so I wanted to get you on here just to recognize you. He put all this together. I'm late every week.
Yes.
That's just kind of my thing. Unfortunately for everyone around me that works with me. So I appreciate you very much for everything that you've done putting this thing together. But let's talk about some football with Coach Barrett just real quick. You obviously have covered this team all year long. I've only been along for one game. What have you seen from beginning to end this year?
Well, of course, the beginning started a little rough, right out of the gate, 2 losses. But I think, and really, the Wilson game should not have been a loss.
Right.
That was a crazy game in general. And one of my favorite photos is that I got from that game was the coach carrying literally sod off the field during the midpoint of the game. Then a player gets hurt, has to be air vac'd out. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hour long wait. So, really, they really should only have 1 loss this year. I'm going to be biased. But I think you've seen the biggest thing that's evolved is the run game. Last year they had Louis Rickwa. That was a great run game. He was a great runner, and they didn't really have that kind of up the middle running. They were always bouncing things outside. But as the season got going, Aziz Hernandez started running the ball down the middle. I think that really opened up their offense.
Yeah.
So I think a team kind of peaks at the right time, like the Nationals when they made that run in the MLB playoffs back in 2018, 2019. They were not really necessarily the best team all season, but they made it to the playoffs. They got in, and then they just started kind of hitting right at the right time. And I think right now the offense is really performing at a high level. I think the defense is performing at a high level, and Winoka is going to be a great test. I mean, this is the revenge game this season, as we wrote about in our article. So I think that as far as test for the Wildcats, this is the hardest one so far, and it's not only going to get harder from here on out. So I think that this weekend is going to be a great game. I'm excited about being there. I try to make all the 8-man games that I can. So I think that they're in a good spot, and have a lot of faith. Wildcats by 35.
Wildcat. I'll take 45 so we can be home by 9:30 or something like that. How does that sound?
I'll take either one of them.
I mean,
Coach Wolf. I'll take by 1.
Take by 1.
You're right.
All right. Hey, thank you guys so much once again, and thank you to you guys for hosting us here.
Yeah, of course.
So,
thank you, Coach.
Thanks to all of our sponsors.
He can't leave you
He
hanging.
left me hanging.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm that guy. Anyway, hey, hopefully we'll see you next week. We'll do this thing again. If not, thank you guys so much, and have a good night.